Good morning, chat. Can you hear me? Okay, yes, you can. My name is Penbu. I am the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux. And today we are playing REGEX CROSSWORD. How is everyone? Hope you're all doing very well. So REGEX, if you aren't aware, is short for regular expressions. Regular expressions are strings that are patterns that you use to match against another string. Well, I think it's probably best to go through the tutorial to show you how that works if you aren't already familiar. But REGEX, a lot of people tend to think that REGEX is very complicated, but it really isn't once you break it down into its parts. And there's this game called REGEX CROSSWORD, which is what we're playing, that allows you to... it's a crossword where the clues are regular expressions. So in this case here, we have A or B, and in the vertical, and the horizontal we have A+. As we say, these are the regex clues that your solution must satisfy. Clues for the selected field are shown at the top of the screen. Tap the second field of the puzzle to highlight the clues. Such as that. Since only the letter A satisfies both clues, drag the letter A from the bottom into the fields. I have actually hidden the bottom here because that would be too easy. It gives you all the letters that appear in the puzzle, even if there are other letters in the puzzle in the clues. So we're just gonna put an A there. So these are working with JavaScript regular expressions. There are a number of syntaxes for regular expressions. PCRE, Perl, Java, JavaScript, Python I think has its own as well. BRE, ERE, ton of them. The question mark means 1 or 0 and star is 0 or infinite. Is A or B required in the first fields? So we have here A question mark B star, which means we have 0 or 1 A's followed by 0 or more B's. And then in our horizontal we have A plus B question mark, so we have 1 or more A's and possibly a B. A is the only one that satisfies that here because it's the first character. And we are forced to have at least one because of this. We'll put an A there. And so because we are forced to have 1 or more A's, this could be an A, this could be a B. We don't know yet. And so we can look at the second column here. A star, which means 0 or more A's. Followed by a B. Followed by maybe a C. And then 0 or more D's. We are forced to have a B here. And that satisfies this because A star means 0 or more A, so we don't need to have an A at the beginning. So that is a B. Next. Range. A, B means one of the given letters. The leading caret in the range caret A, B means not these letters. So this is what you call a character class. It means that it matches any of the letters that are inside of the brackets. And as this says, if there is a caret, a hat, at the very beginning, then it means any character that's not one of these characters. So this says not A. So we can't start with an A. And this says A, or any character that's an A or a B. Obviously we can't use A. So this has to be a B. And then moving on, it says not B. But it also has to be an A or B. So that leaves us with A. Let me know if this is too small, by the way. I can make it bigger. Back references. So in parentheses A, and then /1 is repeating the content of a group, anything in a parenthesis, group are numbered from 1 to X. So in this case, this one is saying that you capture the pattern A, and then you reference that, so this ends up being AA. And that would be here. So this forces that to be A and then A, because it only has 2 characters. And then we have AAB with a curly 0 in curly braces. As it says here, curly brackets A in 2 to 4 means repeat something X to Y times, and just one number and comma means from X to infinite. In this case, we have a 0, which means repeated 0 times, so we don't have any B's, which forces this to be an A. And then looking at this clue here, we have A, 2 or more, and so that forces it to be an A as well. And then before we solve that, looking at this column clue, we have B question mark. So the entire group, in this case, is 0 or more. And then we have an A in another capture group, and we reference the second capture group here. We already know we don't start with a B. This is fine. We had started with an A. So this ends up being an A as well. Black means a space, and special characters \W, \D, and \S represent a word, letter, digit, or white space. In this case, white space, digit, or no, word. This isn't the correct order. Word, digit, and white space. S standing for space. By the way, the reason I'm starting earlier, if I didn't catch it in the Discord, is because I have a previous commitment at 8 p.m. So that is our hard stop today. But that's fine, because I don't think I might get bored of REGEX CROSSWORDs after an hour or an hour and a half. So this works out anyway. So what do we have here? We have a word. So word characters are letters, plus underscores, and maybe numbers, but they don't matter here. So we'll stick with letters for now. This says letters. So this is a letter and then a digit. We don't know what that is yet. So we can look at the next clue. This says A, so we're forced to have an A. And then some sort of white space. We don't know what that white space is yet, so we'll leave that blank. So now we've satisfied the word here, because A is a word character. So moving on, we have 1 and A. So simple strings are regexes as well. They don't have to have any special characters. If you have a sequence of simple characters, then it just means match those characters. So in this case, 1A matches the string 1A and nothing else. So that is forced. And in this case, we have our other clue, space followed by word character. The crossword checks it based on evaluating these regular expressions. So we can actually put any space character in here and it'll work. So let's put a space. Alright, now we can actually go to the puzzles. So we have character class E to S, so any character between E and S, and one or more of those. This is an E or S. And then this is any character between F and Z. So this forces us, because E is outside of this range, it is before F. This forces us to have an S. And then we have I followed by possibly an S, but we only have one space here, so that is forced to be an I. And then the next one is not an E, or anything that's not an E, but it has to be anything that is A to F, but it also still has to satisfy between E to S. And the only thing that satisfies that is between these two, E and F, but this says it can't be an E, so this has to be an F. Why don't I make this a little bit bigger, actually? The website used to have a much, in my opinion, much nicer interface back in the day, and then they changed it to this this mobile-looking thing. And it's very obvious that they have optimized it for mobile, because using this with a keyboard isn't that great anymore. You used to be able to navigate between these boxes using arrow keys, but now you have to tab through them. Okay, so what do we have? This has to be a Y or an R. This has to be an R or a T, and this also has to be an R or a T. We have any character that's a T or an R, followed by a Y, and then followed by either an R or a T. So because this second one is forced, that is a Y. R or T is the same here, so that doesn't give us anything. T or R, that also doesn't give us anything. Those two are equivalent. So we have to look at this one. This is forced to be an R because it's the first one. And then the last one is a Y or a T. The only characters that are the same between these two is T. And so it is that. So this one we have an H in the last position. That is forced. Does this have enough? Oh, it does have enough. Okay, those are 3 characters. This is either an LE or an EL. That's what this says. It's either LE or EL. And then this says that it's our character here is any character between H and N, so it can't be an E because E is before H, so this forces it to be an L, which means following this pattern it has to be an E. Continuing on. Do you want to get to the more advanced puzzles? Because at least to me these are pretty simple. Because if you look at my reference sheet, you see that my eyes have this dot plus regex in them. So you would think that I would be familiar with regex, or at least I have greedy eyes. Maybe the plus is a greedy operator, and by greedy it means that it'll take as many as it can get. What do we have here? We have ASK and one or more of those, so all of these have to be an A, S, or K. And then over here we have an ASK and then one or more A or Ks, which means neither of these can be S's, which means we are forced to have this as a K because of that. This is an A because of that. And then this can be an A, S, or K. They can't be a K because we don't have a K in here, so it can either be an S or an A, and we're forced to have an S because this is a plus. So there has to be one or more of the S's, and if we make it an A, there won't be any room for any S's, so this has to be an S. Moving on. So, this starts off with an H. Is that how that looks? Yeah, I really wish they had changed the orientation here, because it's really, you have to turn your heads. But anyway, this is anything that's between an O or an X. We don't know yet, but we do know it has to be either a T or an H. And the only one that's within that range is a T. We'll put a T there. We do not start with a digit. We do start with a word character. And so we either have a digit or an R. but this forces it to be anything but a digit, I believe. So that is forced to be an R. And then we have either a 0 or an O in the first position here. But in the second position horizontally, we have O and DR, and the only overlap there is an O. How many more of these do we have? We've only gone through 5. Okay, so we're going to speed run the rest of these 15. So we have A to F, so anything between A and F or an R, and one or more of those. We are forced to have an O over here, which then forces this to be OJ. The dot here means any character. Question mark says that we can possibly end with any character. Doesn't help us too much. We are forced to have either a D or an O. So I don't think we're going to end up using this A. This is a question mark. There might not be an A. And this says that there isn't. The only overlap between D and O and A to FR is a D, because O is out of the range. Which then leaves this as anything between Q and U, which is an R. Okay. We get an L here because that's the only constant. We get an A here because that's also constant. And... oh, actually, this is... can I copy that? I think I'm gonna have to copy that. That is an accented character. Why did they make you do that? Okay. So then here we have... oh, actually here, this is pretty easy. We have a non-digit and then the A with the accents. The only non-digit here is the I, so that gets an I. And then this one is anything between M and Z out of the sets L, I, V, A. I believe the only one that satisfies that is a V. This is constant. That the only overlap here is an O. Given that. So this is either a D or an N because the first one is eliminated. It can't be an N because A and N is not within the range A to K. So that has to be a D. And this is any digit, sorry, any non-digits and not an O. So we have digits 1, 0, O, which leaves I. L star to I, L star. So we don't actually have any information here. This could be an I, this could be an I. One of these has to be an I, because I is constant. This has to be a K. This is constant here. This is an L. Yeah, this is an L because otherwise it's constant. If it were in this case, it would be E0, but this is not 0. So we're forced into this case here. And then we either have a word or a digit. And we have, so if this is an L, this has to be an I. Because we have to have at least one I. Which then forces this to be an O. Very good. This is forced. Means these are forced. And then, are there any other constants here that we can get? Yes. This is constant R. So these are either G or an S because we can't have an R here. And out of this overlap is just an S, we'll get that. And then The only overlap between GRS and not DRS is G, so that is a G. I'm seeing a pattern in these answers. So I and I. And then we have, what other constants we have? We have these L over here. And this is forced to be an M and N. Any other constants? This is forced to be an F because of this here. And then now we just fill in these two. This is either an E or an M. And then this is either... so what do we have here that's overlapping? E2N, which is all of these, really. This is also that. And then EHI, the only overlap here is H. Is that correct? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Well, I is also there too. Is that right? Well, the alphabet can't be that hard. So this is so this can't be an M because this prohibits that from being an M. So this has to be an E, which then makes this also. So we can't do an N because this is not an N. Can't do an M because that's not an M. So this has to be an H. Three word characters. And then these characters. Hello, Alex. Welcome. This is a U. I know you've done a lot of these before, actually. I think I remember you saying that this is where you learn your regex. Is that right? And what else do we have here? S2X. We probably aren't going to end up with this one. So we are forced to have something in here. That's something between S. What do we have? STUVWX. The only thing that overlaps with this one, I guess, is a T. This says not one of those. That's a T. This doesn't help us because all it says is that they're letters. Pretty good learning exercise. Yeah, it's definitely a way to apply what you've learned, I think. And we have a capture group here which says that it has to be the same letter here and here. So what is this? H. Why is the alphabet escaping me? HIJKLMNO. Which the only overlap here is an N, which means this is also an N. And then we have this. So this here, the word character does not include the accented characters from what I remember. So this is a J. That can't be right. Maybe it does include those. I thought it didn't. But okay, so we were forced to have this because this is the only overlap we have there. Which then means that... Actually, no, that's correct. That's correct, because the word character is only ASCII. Yeah, that's right. And the accented characters aren't ASCII. Okay, so this is constant D. Any other constants? This is an A. L, Y, R, R, Y, L. So this is the exact same one. Now, how long ago did you do these, by the way? I think they've added some more puzzles in the last few years. There's also now a user submitted section as well. I haven't done any of those ones myself yet. I wonder if they're any good. IGL, and then RA or AR. So this is forced to be an R. It might be implementation dependent, or accidental characters are part of extended ASCII. Unicode may or may not work. So this actually uses JavaScript regular expressions, and from my knowledge, the \W only is only a very specific set of characters, which includes, I think, lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and underscores. I can't remember if the digits are in there. 5 years ago. Yeah, they've, I think it was in the last year or so that they changed it to this. I was saying earlier that I don't really like the redesign, but it is what it is. Although I did look in the Wayback Machine and tried playing it there, it still works. I mean, you can't log in, but it's not like you have to, because everything is stored in local storage. You used to be able to spin it, really. Well, you can't now. At least I don't know how. But yeah, you can't even move your cursor with the arrow keys anymore. So this is anything here. This isn't. It's either an S or an I. I think this is forced to be an I because this is the overlap here. Oh yeah, and to get keyboard access, you have to go into one of the puzzles that has keyboard on it, and then enable the keyboard there. And normally, and I have a user style to hide it, but normally they have this what do you call it? This tray at the bottom that shows you all the letters that are in here, and you could tap it to input that letter. But that makes it too easy, because sometimes the letters that are in the grids and the letters that are, or sorry, the letters that show up in the clues and the letters that show up in the grid aren't always the same. It's usually superset in the clues, and that just makes it too easy. So I doesn't appear here, so this is an S. Yeah, extra info. And then it says IGL, the overlap here is a G, and then this then forces it to be a G as well because of the back reference. Because we have an S here, this forces it to be a Y. And then this is just whatever's left over, I guess. This is between R, Y, and L. And we have one or more GILs, and the only overlap is an L. How many do we have left of this? Okay, we can keep going. Then we can get to the harder puzzles. It says constant. What else is constant? This is also constant, because there's only one character here, so it has to be that character. Anything else that's constants? I don't see any other constants. Okay. So I think we just have to look at overlaps now. This is either an EJU, this is EOT, so this has to be an E because it's the only overlap. And then between here, we have to start with a T or an M. The only overlap there is a T. And then H to J, with the second character is either an I or an M. The only overlap is I. So that column is done. And then here, E, J, or U. And we have to overlap with H and J, so I think that's just J. And then the overlap here is just a U. Another tip, if the regex has multiple repeat operators, it's best to do plus first since it guarantees that something somewhere. Yes, that's correct. Okay, what else do we have here? So we need an overlap between OD, I, and N, and EOT. So that's an O. Or overlap with the vertical bar, which is just a vertical bar here. Not the OR operator. or an H. Which is fine. I think the only overlap between this and that is the N. Very good. Last one of these symbol puzzles. Ampersand. That's a new one. But I don't think that means anything outside of the replacements. So I think that's a literal ampersand. So regexes don't have to be like letters or numbers or anything like that. They can be any characters. Some characters have special meanings, in which case they are escaped with backslashes if you want a literal version of them, like the parentheses. But otherwise you can match any character. Okay, so looking for more constants. So this here means any character and then a U, so there's a U here. What else do we have? This is any non-word character. Any non-word character there. I think the only one there is a space, so that is a space. There's a quick graph in the top right over here. Aha, yes. Oh, so it does include numbers. Okay, that's good. Look aheads. Yes. What else do we have here? Oh, this one's a constant. That's an H, which then forces this to be a U because we have this sequence here. And then we have these two have to be the same because of this back reference. And then we have, so it's nothing that's an O or anything between an O and T. That's, I can get the alphabet right, O, P, Q, R, S, T. But this has to be a non-word character. And the only non-word character here is a space, so that has to be a space. What else do we have? Which satisfies this because it's not one of those letters there. Oh, that's a constant. Okay, so that's an M. And then M to Z's one or more. So that is one of those. But this is any character, which means it reduces down to anything that's between M and Z. H to K. S. This is a space because we have this space there. And then this has to be anything between an H and K. And the only overlap we have there, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. I think it's either an I or an N. Oh, no. I, J, that's an I. Yeah, alphabet is hardest part. What was it? I think it was Koseki Biju who was able to recite the alphabet effortlessly backwards. So random access alphabet is definitely a good skill to have in one of these. Space, any word character. So this is either a G or an H, we know that. It's a little bit suspicious, yeah. I don't know where she's picked it up from. Or how, for that matter. I mean, I guess with practice you could just do it, like Z, Y, X, W, V, U, T, S. That's about as far as I can go. I think the next one is R after that. But then it's kind of like a linked list, the alphabet, for most people anyway. It's very easy if you start from the beginning, but you have no references going back, so it's a singly linked list. A classic police drunk test. Ah, I see. I've not heard that actually. Okay, so we have either a G, I, or an N, which satisfies this one, and we know that this can't be an N because overlap. The breathalyzers, yeah. Well, I hear they still make you walk in straight lines. But maybe that's not used anymore either. I don't know. I've obviously never been stopped for one of those. In part because I don't drive, but also I just don't go out. So this is either U, M, or N. We have an overlap here with the U, M, or N, G, I, N. I think this one is forced to be an N. U, M, N, S. So this is also forced to be an N. And then, do we have any other clues here? Because this could potentially just be anything. Oh no, but we're forced to because there has to be a character between these two sets that are the same. Which is the N. And then, this is anything between an M to a Z. The only ones in this set is the N. There's a lot of N's here. And I think this is forced to be an I because we can't have the N there. We can't have a G because there's no G ending there. So this has to be an I. And this is a G. Alright, we've gone through the easy puzzles. Really? I thought you had okay, maybe their site is broken because they if your screen is wide enough, they do put in the 4 columns. But maybe it just didn't detect it. Oh, actually, you know what? It's because I have zoom enabled, that's why. Just to make it bigger for the screen. Do I really want to go for 46? Oh, let's do that. Okay, choose something in here to start with. Not the beginner one, because I don't really want to go through the beginner ones. I think these ones are the classic puzzles, the ones on the old site. Well, let's go with that one then. Okay. So we have GRA. This is a GRA. This is a constant P. This could be P or it could be anything else. Actually, it can't be a P because this prevents us from being a P, so it has to be this portion, which means it doesn't really give us any information. Grape Zs. So this can either be a G, a P, or an E, or an R for that matter. It has to be PO because of the left one. I actually don't remember what you're talking about anymore. This one? Ah, yes, okay. So not actually, no, this can't be a PO because we have not O here. Are you talking about PO here? Yes, actually, yes, you're right. So because of this, that is a PO. Which means this is any of the single letters because we don't have space for the double letters anymore. But it also has to be a GR or A, so this narrows it down to a G or an R. Which this doesn't help us with because that contains both of those, but this does, because the only one that overlaps is G. Next one. This is forced to be X, Y, or Z. The only overlap there is the Zs. And then KINZS for one of these. So the overlap there is an S or an I. But this is not an I, not an S. I think K is actually an overlap there too. That's a K. Keeping an eye on time. I do have to leave at 8 or a little bit before that. And so this is forced to be an S or a P because of these two. but we don't have a P, so this has to be an S. Okay, moving on. I can't see that. Shrink that down a little bit. Okay, looking for constants. This one's a Y. This one is an M. Anything else? Caret here means start of the start of the pattern, which doesn't really matter for us because these are always matching the entire thing. So this has to start with a digit, I or P or a space. The only overlap here, so non-digit I or P doesn't help us there because that's there. But this does, M, A, or P. The only overlap is a P. I'll take that. So this says, oh, okay. Now they're trying to trick us with some syntax here. You would possibly think that this groups to a \d, which means a digit, but because you have the backslash here, that actually escapes the backslash, so this is P, A, backslash, literal D, and digit, and one or more of those. But I'm not sure if that helps us very much, at least right now. So, the start is not a 2, an O, I, or 1, or 3. Which is fine, because this is either Y, M, or anything that isn't a 2, 1, or 3. And then up here we have, it says, is that even right? I think it's this one here. Backslash D, or digits, followed by, sorry, it's a backslash followed by D. Or a digit followed by anything. Backslash counts there. Backslash does not count here. So that has to be a digit of some sort. Either any digit that's not a 2, 1, or 3. Okay, sure. Which is pretty much any... oh, actually, no, this is the second one. So it's either 0, 1, 2, or 3. And the only one there that matches is 0. Everything else in that range is negated by this one. So you have to start with a P or Y. So it's either P or Y, which counts for both of those. Followed by a PA or a dot and then an H and then the end of the string. So in either case we need to have 2 here, 2 characters as a reserve. Which forces this to be a P or a Y, which it already was anyway. But the only one that follows the pattern, because the next one has to be a P. Or actually it could be this one too. So this is either a P and then dot and H, or a P and P and A, but we can't do that, so this actually is not an option. This has to be a dot and an H, which I guess this means this is a P. And then 2 more spaces. So we're probably in this, we are in this territory now, so this one doesn't help us. And so our options are either P, A, backslash, literal D, or digits. Does not overlap with anything. This says there has to be 0 more backslashes. There has to be a literal dot there. Oh, that was a constant. We could have found that out earlier. and then followed up possibly by an A or a P. Literal backslash matches here, but it doesn't match here, so I don't think this is it. So this is either an A or a P. And this forbids it from being... Actually, no, this doesn't forbid it because we're already in the dot, which means any character. Yeah, meta character soup is a good term there. I've written a lot of long regular expressions filled with a lot of meta characters, and they can be very read-only. They say Perl. Perl is known for having a lot of regular expressions in the code, and Perl is one of those languages that can be considered as read-only languages, write-only languages. Yeah, sorry, write-only, not read-only. Where you write it, but good luck trying to read it. This is YH, and Y in the end of string, so this is either a Y, which it can't be a Y because it's not in this string, or not in that set here, so this has to be a digit. The only digit that we are allowed to have is a 2. I do want to learn Perl at some point, because it seems like, well, maybe now with Python around it's less useful, but knowing Perl is a bit of a, how do they call that? Hacker credentials, I guess? I can't remember what the term is. Street creds? Something like that. Not that anyone cares, but it's kind of fun to flaunt around a little bit. Rite of passage? I wouldn't say so. Maybe back in the day, but not so much now. More like, you know Perl, oh, this is cool. Okay, so what is this last one? This last one has to be either a backslash, or forward slash, or a B. So I think this is actually a backslash. Okay. Okay. Constants seem to be kind of difficult to find. That's a constant, but we don't know where it is. It's either here or here, so one of these two is a P. This all has to be the same letter, which means we probably will end up solving this one first. This has to be between an M and a Q. Okay, M, N, O, P, Q, which doesn't help us much, because both of those are within this range. However, this says it has to end in an O. So this is an O, which means all three of these are O's. And then we have one or more of these. We already have the one. P can't be here because we only have... Yeah, that's right. We only have these slots for P's. That or that. This is forced to be a Y or an E, which is fine. Is dash tilde. It matches any printable character since it's everything between a space and a tilde. Oh, yeah. I haven't actually seen that before. But I guess that's correct, yeah, because it would be everything. Should keep that in mind. Although I've never, wouldn't say I've had to use that. I think if people see that, it's not going to be obvious. Although, yeah, having something that's printable, matching anything that's printable would be good for filtering out anything that's not printable. Does that include that? No, that regex doesn't include the new lines though. And tabs. But for any regular text, I guess that would match it. So this is not an A, P, or E. So we can strike A from here. Strike E from there as well. Doesn't help us too much though. So this has to end in 2 characters, so snake is only one of these here. Question mark. Question mark is one of the characters here. So we know that this actually can't be a P because we have the negated here, so this has to be a question mark. Yeah, it's interesting because for all the time that I've known regex, and I've been using regex for a very long time, for some reason I haven't come across that one yet. Or even thought about doing that. So then we know that this is a P. And so this is a Y or an exclamation mark. This is forced to be a Y because this forces that to be that. There are no exclamation marks in either of these either. No, that still works because these 3 fall under the dot there. Okay, what else do we have? So this is forced to be U because both of these have a U before the O. And that covers the 2 dots here, which means these will be in the characters that are in the snake. I have A, or question mark P, or NP. So this is either a question mark or an N. I think the overlap here is N because we have snake. Which means this is either an A or a question mark. Which question mark is afforded there. Can't be an A. It can be an A, possibly. Oh no, okay, so dot question mark is already taken up by this O because it's actually not necessarily. But it could be taken up by this O, which means that we are forced to use anything that's not an A, a P, or an E, which means this can't be an A, this has to be a question mark. M to Q. M, N, O, P, Q. So this is either an M or an N. Doesn't help us too much. Actually, okay, it does, because we can't have an N here, so this is an M. Which means this is an A, anything between A and E. Similarly, I guess you can't do rot 13 with TR by doing AZ, AZs. Yeah, I think that one I've done before. It's a little bit awkward if you have to type it out, but it is a thing. There's also the rot 13 program that you can download and install. It does it for you. I think the generalized version is Caesar, which allows you to rotate between any arbitrary offset. So this is any character. Doesn't help. But it has to be any character that's YOU question mark BE. The overlap here is an E, so that has to be an E. And then, yeah, TR. I wonder what the history behind TR is, because I know I think Perl has something similar to what TR does. I think it's with the Y operator. But it could be that TR came first and then Perl took it from that. Because a lot of these standard Unix like Unix conventions, like for example grep, got its name from a command in the line editor ed, where it has a command called G for global, and then it takes in after the second parameter, or sorry, the first parameter is a regex RE, and then P for pattern. No, that's not quite right. Oh, print. Right. P is the print command. Yeah. And then Vim took that as well. And so that's why you get that in Vim. I do want to show off ED on stream at some point. I just need to figure out something to do with it. The standard editor. Yes. Ed man ed. Okay, what are we doing here? It's not one of these because this is... Those characters are there, so this is forced to be an F. And something says that this is not correct. What are we missing? What's failing? So M is not one of AP or E. It is in Mensa. This satisfies that. It is not one of those. This is one of the characters in here, and it's not one of those in here. But it's not a Y or a BE. That's what that is. Okay. So this is a Y? Well, that can't be right, though. Because this is an A to E. Oh, no, but there's a dot here, so this actually can be anything. This is what can't be anything, though. Oh, no, it can still be anything, because this is a dot plus. Okay. What else do we have? This is an O. And this is within the range. And it's not one of these characters. S is in here. S is in here. S is not one of these characters. Alright, I have all these up here. N. So we have it in there. And then it is NP from there. PENS. Yeah, old rotate would be nice. So I don't think so. If I have my desk here, I can find the desk. There's nothing hidden behind there, so I don't think the corner here is going to be very helpful. Where was I? Okay, this one, that one. The question mark, but I think we do end up using it. Because otherwise this is a D. Well, we don't have a D in anything here, so it's not a D. We already know this has to be a U and O because that's forced. This is a question mark. Question mark is not one of these characters. It is one of these characters. Okay. We're missing anything. Dot plus. So that's satisfied there. This is an NP. And this is an N and P. Can we satisfy this? This is a P. And I think a P is within this range. Okay. That's satisfied there. That's satisfied here. At the very end. It is one of these, and it is one of these. Okay. And then O. These are all forced to be O's, so that's correct. And then anything that is not one of the... What actually am I missing, though? Is this where we pull out the console? Is that cheating? One, two... Dot dot, so this can be anything. It has to be that. SN and P. I still got time, okay. NP. I do hopefully want to try to get to that big hexagonal one. Maybe after this one. Actually, I don't know. If we're taking this long with this one, we might not have enough time for the big hexagonal one. Save that for another day. Yeah, it can't be duo because there's no D in here. And we can only afford two characters that are not part of Snake. AE. Not APE. Any character. So this has to be for this one, which means this has to be... Oh, that's what it is. It can't be an E. Okay, so if it can't be an E, then this has to be a B, because that's the only overlap there. So I think I missed the B in this calculating this overlap. There we go. We have time for one, maybe two more. Let's maybe finish off this this area, and then we're good to go. Okay, look for constants. This is D or B. Possibly not, actually, because it's a plus. Do we have anything at the end? No, I cannot find anything at the end. There's a digit somewhere in here. This is a single character, so this is a digit. So there's a digit here. The only digit that's in here is a 1. Okay. There's our overlap. Start with a 1. Anything else we can glean out of that? Possibly not. Do we have any other constants? No. Not that I can see. Again, that's where the rotate function would be nice, because there's this old meme floating around on YouTube where this guy looks at some anime subtitles. The top left digit may be solvable. This is 4, 0, or 7. And this is 5 to 9. The only thing that's in there is a 7. Okay, good. Yeah, so I was saying there's this video floating around on YouTube where this guy is watching some anime, and in the subs there's a sign that that is typeset vertically. So kind of like this, and instead of turning his head, what he does is he turns his monitor to the side until the scene is done, and then he turns it back. Which is fine for a monitor that you can turn around very easily, but then he goes off and does it to his TV as well. Should send that in the Discord at some point. I'm gonna go find that now. So that's it's in chat. This one, yeah. Yeah, save this for later. I will repost this in the Discord. So this is a PA. So out of these ones, MW. I think W is the only overlap here. Right, and it has to be one of these anyway. So digits, the overlap here is a 0, I think, which forces this to be a D. Time check, 20 more minutes. And so this is either a... Not a 7? I don't think that can be a 7, because we don't have a 7 here. So it has to be in either M, E, or W. It can't be an E because we don't have an E in the set, so this is M or W. And there's no W in this set, so that has to be an M. Okay, that's the first row supposedly done. I'm going to shrink this a little bit. I don't have to scroll so much. And why don't I move over the full screen scene so it's a little bit bigger? And of course the background music just dies. Okay. So this is anything that's not a Z, O, backslash, or a space, slash, or a digits. And this is forced to be an N, A, colon, X, comma, or S. Doesn't help us too much. Maybe I should start looking up here. So overlap here, we have, what's this even correspond to? Where is this? Okay, so that's this one here. This one is up here. So I need a capital letter. Okay, sure. Those are all in there. Colon, not space, not slash, not a digit. So a letter or colon, which is anything in here minus the comma. Hard, but relate the stuff at the top to square you're in and figure out where it was, yeah. Like, I understand how this is useful, it's just because you're not, it's not local, it's a, yeah, I get it. So yeah, definitely not, I don't think the UI change was, it's a good change I think for mobile, but not so much for desktop. Especially since a lot of the solutions depend on other squares nearby. Yeah, the position is very important. What am I looking at? Okay, so this last one is forced to be a space, colon, or dot. And the only one that overlaps with this one, I think, is a colon. Okay. So we have another digit or another one of these. So this is already our digit. So this has to be another one of these. So we have a slash. There's a slash here. This can be anything. So I think it can be a slash. Because the other characters in that set don't overlap with this one. What else do we have? So this is a D or B. But it can also be one of the dots. This can be a D or B. I think we're forced to have that. Because this is one or more, which means that either the dot encompasses both of these, or it only has this. And then both of these are D or Bs. Which in this case doesn't really matter, but that does mean that this has to be a D or a B. D is not in this set, so that has to be a B. I think that covers it for that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the B is constant there, which means dot plus only is this one. Which means the next ones are two characters, which we already know that, because all three of those options are two characters only. So what else do we know? It can't be a P, because P is not in the set, so this has to be an N. Which means this is either an S or an X. X is not in this set, so this has to be an S. So we have digits, or P. It could be a space. It might not be a space, because we have a single S here. Space is allowed here, space is also allowed here, but only after an X. Can this take an X? It can. I'm going to take a bit of a leap of faith there and do that. We'll find out if it's wrong later. What else do we have? So we have 3 more. PA/space WE. So we do have the space, but we can't do space because it's in here. I can't do / because it's in there. Did that sometimes repeating single characters and fill them out and remove the ones that have to be false. As yeah, that's a way to do it as well. Five? No, it can't be 5 because that's not in this set. Can't be an N, can't be an I. So it oh wait, no, I'm looking at this wrong. This is negated, so it can't be one of these. Which means no space, no /. That's it. And we have P and A, W and E. And out of that set, I think we only have an A here. Now this could potentially be anything, but this has to be in this set. So either / B, E, D, or S. Now overlapping with this one, I think the only one that has overlap is an E, so this has to be an E. And then one more to go. We need a single character, so this is either a P, an S, or a digit. P, S, or digit are in here. We're restricted to a P. There are no digits in here, so I think this is a P. Very good. One last one? Okay. Gotta do this in 10 minutes. That's a lot of squares for 10 minutes. We might not be able to do this in 10 minutes. Alright, find the constants. This is an M. As a capture group, this has to be the same here and here. Any more constants? This is an F. That's at the very end. This is a question mark at the end. It's an escaped question mark, which means the literal question mark. So this says because of the capture group, this has to be another F. And then the rest of these are B to E's. Is this forced to be anything? This is an A. Because of this. What else do we have? That satisfies that, that satisfies that. We already had that, okay. So this is 5 to 8, $L. Okay. Which means we don't have a Z. I don't think we can do a Z anywhere in here. And I don't think we can do dash P either. So we are forced to do one character and then a 5 or $, or $5, and then a character or L. So we're gonna do a bunch of L's too. So at least one of these is gonna be an L. L is within the set. Hold. So anything that's not an L here. TRA. So we can we will need to have one of these, a TRA somewhere, and then an N7 or N3 somewhere as well. Let's find anything that overlaps with a T. And then from there we can figure out what starts. So this overlaps with a T, and I don't think anything else overlaps. Because this has no T at the beginning. This does not have a T. This does not have a T. This does not have a T. So this is TRA. Yes. Which means this is forced to be an N. This is either a 3 or a 7. It says 5 to 8. 3 is not in there, so this has to be a 7. Okay. Got about 7 minutes left or so. I think I can be a little bit late to my other commitments. Not like the other ones are going to show up on time either. Okay, what else do we have here? B or E. This either, it's actually, no, this is B, D, E, B, D, or E, I guess, yeah. Smells like group work. It is in a group. I'm no longer in school, so it's not homework or anything, but it is something to do with a group. What do we have here? B, D, E, and the only ones that overlap here is in T. So this has to be D. This is R4, because that forces it. This is either R4 or WE. Which, because of BE, B to E, this is forced to be an E, which means it's a W. Which means this is forced to be a dash E. And then anything that's not one of these characters. But also not one of these characters. Can we narrow down anything else? One of these has to be a space. But unfortunately this is a dot plus, which means... well, how many characters do we absolutely need? This is a dot plus, a space, and a dot plus. So either this is the space or this is the space. Which one allows us to have a space? This one. So these are a bunch of digits. This has to be another digit. This is a 1 or a 2. We have a 2 as an overlap there. This is a 2. This could be a digit. Or it could not be a digit. If it is a digit, it's either 1, 2, or 4. 4 is within this set, so it could be a 4. 4 is not in this set though. So it is probably not a digit. So which means it's either an L, A space, or $? Question mark. $? is in here, $? is not in here. A is in both of these, so this is probably an A. But L is also in both of these, so it could also be an L. A is not in this one, so this has to be an L. Okay. Almost there. A, no, L is probably not going to be in here too. It's not a space. $? Could be a $. Can't be a $, because it's not in here. Question mark. Question mark is in here. Question mark is in here. It is not one of those characters. Could be a question mark. 5 more, and only about 5 minutes left, so 1 minute per square. 5 to 8, $L. 5 to 8, $L. I don't think we can get anything out of here. Okay, so ALF5 $E. Cross-checking all these character sets. So out of the smallest ones, we have FEAL, FEAL, 3 to 5, so only 5 there, and then S is not in here. But also 5 to 8 L, so it narrows it down to 5 or an L. 5 or an L here. Which means this could possibly be a dollar sign. It fits in here, so we could... I'd go ahead with that anyway. Not L49N or dollar sign or question mark. This doesn't help, you know. Because this is also a not. But we do have the ones over here. So we've got a bunch of knots actually. And the only one that has it is this one. So cross-checking, I think this is an F. Not an F, because it can't be an F. Is it an A? It can't be an A, because there's one there, so this is an N. It can't be an N, because there's no... You can't have an N there. Is that positionally correct? I think it has to, because it's either... Yeah, we can't do another, can't do a D there. So, dollar sign fits. I don't think we should have another dollar sign though. But if that's the way it goes, then I guess we'll have another one. No dollar sign, top right regex, so $5 sign is right here. I don't remember, okay, so I remember doing this puzzle before. I don't remember there being $2 signs, so this might not be correct. Aha. Character sets. So we're already on the plus, dot plus here, so that's not going to help us. And then we have a bunch of negatives. We have a negative set here, we have a positive set here. And then we have a negative set here as well. So our positive set is LO space question mark 5 to 8. So that leaves us with not 5. No numbers. Okay, no numbers. Not an L. Could be an O. Could be a space. Not a space. I think this is an O. One more. Man, all these sets. Positive set 5 to 8. S or Z or L. Did I misread that? No, it can't be an L because of that. Z is not in this set. Oh, you mean here? Yeah, okay. Z or an L. It can't be a Z, so it has to be an L, I guess. And something is wrong. Probably not this one. I don't remember this being a dollar sign. We have about a minute. I think we could brute force this. Okay, so FAN dollar sign question mark or digit. Can't be an F, can't be an A, can't be an N, cannot be a dollar sign, cannot be a question mark, so this has to be a digit. It's not a 0, not 49, not 1 or 2, the only one that's left is 3. Alright, we got it! And that's it, all quite in time too. Yeah, I wish I could go for a little bit longer, but I do have somewhere to be, so thanks for coming, and tomorrow we will be doing Puyo Puyo Champions. If you're not familiar with Puyo Puyo, it's kind of like Tetris, it's another falling blocks game, but it's not quite like Tetris. A lot of fun. But yeah, we'll be doing some online stuff there. Hopefully we get some strong people. Not too strong, because then they'll just beat me very quickly. But yeah, I gotta go. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming. See you tomorrow. Yeah.